mean, some of Amy's kids can't even speak very clearly in a complete sentence in that little group. And so it was really good to practice that vocabulary. And I think they were starting to pick it up. I would agree with that.
Yeah. It's interesting because now they know to circle the numbers and they know to underline, but they automatically assume they're either adding or subtracting, and they're not.
Right.
There's, like, I had to teach them today, there are other operations. You know, like we're counting by 10. So when you have 5 groups of 10, 7 more, it's not 5 plus 10 plus 7.
Right.
So, you know, that the vocabulary is important. And so we learn to keyword groups, what are groups? So
I had to ask a simple vocabulary. What is a question? I mean, what is it?
Yeah.
You know, they're underlining the question. How do we know it's a question? So it's how many was always the one that they had to come back to. Remember, how is a question and what does it have at the end? So we had to go back down to that. We had to dial down to that basic vocabulary for my little group.
Which will be neat to do it, continue it into next year and see if they've, you know, that just process keeps going. I did create some things. So I had created this and made it smaller. And my kids actually, one of the students today, like lifted it. Look, Miss Jones, I'm using cubes.
They did it with me too.
Cute.
They knew exactly where to find it. So that was great.
Another thing, I made this cubes a self-assessment chart. So you can attach
Oh, that's cool.
word problems where they can mark off, yes, I did C, yes, I did U, yes, I did B. Sorry that it's sideways. Evaluate. And you can also, for the upper grade, put evaluate and eliminate, because I know they need to do that at some point, and solve. So I did that. And then these are like keys that we, you know, that I need to bring out to my first graders and have them always pull out. I think it'll be different when we come back to in person, because right now I have first graders that can't find their materials in front of them.
And you can even have it as an anchor chart up on your,
Nice big anchor chart.
I was
And the
thinking
cubes
that
as
all
well.
of this stuff can be anchor charts and be nice to have, and you can put it on each table in a like a plastic folder. So I mean, I guess we're all in agreement this strategy is working.
Did you have enough data, do you think, to analyze?
Yeah, because we know that it's working. For some of those kids that were struggling, they've gained. So I think it's a plus, and it's a new strategy. So as they practice it, they'll get better. You know, like everything, like learning to tie your shoes, you get better when you practice. So to gain closure on our agreements, I mean, what are you guys thinking about agreements for what we're going to continue to do?
I think we should continue the process. I think, like you said, we should encourage everyone to be using it and have it as an all-school system.
I like
for
that. I
math.
think we should share it with the staff and create a whole school strategy where this is how we solve word problems. And
showing them the data will, you know, encourage them to use it as well.
So I think the outcome of this strategy has been that it's starting to work, that we're seeing improvement in our kids. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I think next steps can be individually, we'll continue to do it ourselves, but I think our next step is to introduce it to the staff, make the colored flyers and the assessments for each teacher, have probably like a collaboration day where we talk about it and how we're going to implement it as a school. I think would be our next steps. You guys agree?
I do. I agree.
I
We need
tell you,
verbal.
I was sitting thinking today, you know how easy this would be to like be in person, because then you could have all these papers all over the table and not have to share your screen. And yeah, I miss that.